Let's always talk about a sizing stream. What makes you think it's sizing? I'm downstairs. I didn't say anything about sizing. I did post an emoji that I hadn't used before. It's an in tray, an inbox. Sizing brush? No, that's an in tray. That's the closest emoji that I could find that relates to the work I'm doing this morning. Good morning, good morning. I didn't fake anybody out. Looks like a sizing brush. It's an in tray. I don't know what you're seeing or what I'm seeing. It's an inbox with an arrow, meaning I had an in tray this morning. Watanabe-san left some work and said, Dave, it's really nice if you could perhaps, you know, do some of this and help out. A never empty inbox. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Whatever. Okay, again, something you probably haven't seen before, something we're going to do today. There's printmaking work waiting for me now, of course, but there's another job that is waiting that is a priority. I know we were going to do an email update / promotion / whatever you talk about in January, but we backed off. Everybody is tired of selling and buying stuff. We had to catch up with our printmaking work. The shipping ladies had to catch up. Our systems had to catch up. Cameron had to catch up. So on January, we stayed quiet. In February, we are going to be doing an email update. And as part of that, we're going to be featuring two things. We're going to be featuring the flea market, and Watanabe-san has been working like crazy, building up and building out the flea market. And also, we contacted three of our suppliers, to see if they had stuff that they haven't had for us before. There was the Doi Hunger Company, and we'll see bits and pieces of that later. And also, we talked to Yoshida people, Tsukasa-san. Are there things you've got left there? And he says, well, I've got odds and ends here. We didn't really think about putting them into the market, whatever. And I'm like, show me what you have. So we have a bunch of different Yoshida prints that have not been out in recent years. These are not Yoshida prints from when Toshi was alive. These are reprints. But anyway, my job this morning, I've got to mount these. I've got to pack these. Somebody's got their first Delight prints. Contact, yeah, that's the Eastern US. Good, thank you, sir. They've been going out. They went out in batches during January. The 1st of the month, the 11th of the month, the 21st of the month. Good morning, good morning. And I have a request. If anybody is in Germany specifically and has received your Delight prints, please let me know. I had a conversation with the lady at the post office on, was it Thursday or Friday? I can't remember. Thursday or Friday, I don't remember, one of those 2 days. And she says, have you heard about the new restrictions for Germany? And I'm like, no, but go ahead, just whatever, give it to me now. And she said Germany has sent out a request to the Japanese post office, maybe to all post offices. Nothing now is to come through without documentation, not even letters. I'm like, what do you mean? A letter? It's not good. There's no tax. But she says nothing. We're not allowed to accept anything for Germany now without documentation, which means it's got to be packet and higher postage. So we've already sent out the ED prints for January to Germany, and I'm very much waiting to see what happens. Are they going to bounce back to us? Are they going to just go into people's boxes, or are they going to get seized or something? I don't know. So if you're in Germany, Toshi Africa prints, no, they're not doing those. Don't even think about that. That's history. They are finished, gone forever. Don't even think about the Toshi Africa prints. We have pleaded with Tsukasa-san, and he's, no, they are not coming out again. So forget that. Forget it. Okay, Dave, get organized here. Okay, I've got different sizes here. Let me get this organized. Sorry, just a minute. It's just dumped on my desk for the moment, so. Let's sort these by size. Okay, some smaller ones first. These are not all new. Some of these prints we have been in our catalog before. Okay, how can we do this? If I do it this way here, where's the camera? I think this isn't related to COVID restrictions for Germany. I believe this is simply customs. It's import duties and taxes. Paper is out for 4 people today. We have a full house today. Ayumi-san is back from a holiday in Hokkaido. Rei-chan is here, Ishikawa-san is here, and Sugi-san is here. They are all busy, busy, busy. We have a full house upstairs. Okay, this is one of the ones that I had not ever seen before. This is Yoshida print. It's metal plate. It's one of the ones they did from a metal key block. Wood blocks are all color. And it's stamped Toshi. This is not signed. This is Atozuri. And it's got the stamp on the back. If you recognize them. It's Atozuri, later printing. And this one is Komatsu Heihachi. Try and get a focus here. It's Komatsu Heihachi. He's been dead for 15 years, 12 years, 15 years, I don't know. He used to be Yoshida's house printer, and he's the man who trained Numabe-san, the person who is Yoshida's current house printer. Numabe-san doesn't have the labels ready for all these, but she's asked me, please get them mounted, get them on the cards. I know there's similar prints by all the artists. Hasui did something like this. Yoshida did something like this. They were all bouncing off each other. This is Toshi Yoshida. So by the time this came along, all the other examples are out there in the market. Okay, where's the... This is not the best desk to be doing this on. I should have perhaps taken the camera in the back room. We'll do this stage by stage. I'll mount them first, get them in the envelopes. There's going to be 1 or 2 or 3 copies of each one, so we're not going to see the same print 500 times here. Relax. We also have a bunch of Yoshitoshis here this morning to do the work on. Someone's asking about Sacred Grove. Rod-san, Louis-san, Sacred Grove. We have begged and begged and begged the Yoshida people to reprint Sacred Grove. Everybody wants that print. I don't even have a copy myself yet. But no. It's not their main business. Tsukasa-san is a teacher of Hanga. He has students. And he doesn't want to be seen to be a businessman. He's an artist in his mind, and he doesn't want to be a businessman. So making and selling prints is not what he wants to do. So he sees no benefit. These are all Atozuri. These are all reprints. We have no first generation Yoshida prints. They are not selling stuff like that. These are all what are called Atozuri, later reprints. Yeah, the corners here are purported to be archival. I know, of course, I haven't any way to test that myself. The company says they are archival. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What can you do? It's a neat dispenser, though. This is the second iteration of this company, and actually, we are partly responsible for these things actually existing. The company that made them, I've been using these since I made my Sunimono albums back starting in 1999 or so. It was a company in Osaka. They were making these, and I started making my Sunimono albums using these corners. Then at one point I put an order in. I phoned them up to put an order in. I don't even remember when this was, 2001 or 2002 or something. And the girl said, okay, well, that's it, but this is the last time because we're shutting down the production line for that product. And I'm like, now you tell me. I'm partway through a long print series, and you explain what's going on and whatever. She said, okay, let me call you back a bit later. So she called back sometime later and said, okay, well, actually, we're selling the machines to make it. If you want to buy the machines to make these things, you know, that's it. You can pick them up. And I'm like, the conversation didn't go very far, but it was, you know, tens of thousands of dollars to buy the machines to make these things. And I could go into business as a corner seal maker. So I said, no, I can't do that, of course, you know. But look, let me know what's going on, how this moves forward. And whatever, a couple of months later or something, she did phone back. They were really, really, really nice people. She phoned back and said, we've managed to sell them to another company. They're going to pick up production. Here's their contact form and their contact information. So I phoned them. And yeah, this is the second iteration. This is the company that bought the machines from the first company. And ever since then, they've been in production. But so John's got it. I could have cornered the market. But like, I've got a life to live, you know. But I've never seen them. They're terrible at marketing. I have never, ever seen these in the shops anywhere. And they're dynamite. They're archival, supposedly. And they're extremely thin. The normal photo corners you get are these fat, bulky things. You can't lay them flat. Okay, up one size. Are we still on camera? I don't know. Up a size. Let's shrink down the outside camera a bit here. Okay, company name. Okay. Hey, sorry. I should have thought of that. Let's get a focus. Just a moment, please. Just a minute. Use it in your sense. The company name is, you can see it in katakana there, Shibata Sesuko Kabushiki Gaisha. Shibata Sesuko. The Japanese name is Long Easy Corners. There's your product name. There's 200 in each package. And they're a very useful product, but I've been using them now for 20 years, over 20 years, 22, 23, 24 years, and no trouble with them so far. Oh, look at this one, 1951. This is made the year I was born. And again, this is Komatsu-san again as well. Look at that. This is left over from Komatsu-san. My God, he's been dead for ages. It's Ato Zuri, later printing, Suri Komatsu Heihachi. When I first went to the Yoshida studio in 1986, I stayed there for, about 3 months. I started in October, maybe 2 months. I started in October, left in November. And Komatsu-san was the main printer there. Komatsu-san and Hamano-san were printing. And Komatsu-san, he'd get there early in the morning. I was there first. Komatsu-san would come there early in the morning. He'd come in the front door, take his jacket off, click on the TV set. He's got a TV on the top of his maibako, the box that's in front of him with the paper. He's got a little black and white TV. And bingo, first thing, he takes his jacket off, puts the TV on, then starts to get his work ready. And he'd print and print and print all day, watching TV as he goes along. And at the end of the day, everything's clean up. Last thing, turn off the TV and go home. And every day, the TV was on there. And mostly for him, it was the TV dramas, the melodramas. So what do you call it? Soap operas in English. and he just watched soap operas all day long. He was a nice guy, kind of quiet, really nice guy, super skilled. My God, he was skilled. He was a little skinny guy, way skinnier than me. But he could do it. I don't know this print. This is, the title says Akiba Jinja. I don't think that's the same Akiba. When we speak of Akiba these days, we're talking about Akihabara. I don't believe this is Akihabara. I don't know the provenance of this. It's Akiba Jinja, and it's one of those Yoshida prints where they have used heavy textures. These are going to be part of the upcoming flea market / promotion in late February. February 15th or February 20th is the target date for this. And we are struggling with what to do because there's a time zone problem. And we have had feedback, strong feedback on this from regular customers. They're not upset, that's the wrong word to use, but people are, Dave, do this better. Because what's happened is we get these things ready, we get these sales ready, and a lot of the prints, there's only one of each copy. But the globe is 24 hours around and there's people asleep. So whatever time we send this thing out at, Europe is asleep, America is asleep, whatever, we get people who by the time they see this, stuff is gone. And we've had feedback, Dave, figure out how to do this. So we have got a plan this time round. Nabe-san and I. We're going to prepare everything in advance. It's all going to be turned off in the background. Then we are going to split the thing into 3 groups. Group A, Group B, and Group C. And we're going to make sure the 3 groups all have, oh, look at that, I've put it on the backboard. Dave. Nobody stopped me. We're going to do it in 3 groups and make sure that there's lots of interesting stuff in each group. And then 8 hours in advance, we're going to turn them on in 8-hour groups. Group A will go on at some time. Group B will go on 8 hours later. Group C will go open 8 hours after that. And we will tell everybody about all these times about 2 days in advance. So for example, say February 15th, we send out the letter. It'll say, this thing all starts on February the 17th. Group A will go online at GMT time, blah, 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 blah. Group B goes online 8 hours later, and then 8 hours later. And some of the stuff, there's more than one copy, it's okay. This print, we have 3, 4 copies, whatever. But some of the stuff in the flea market, the older section of our print, there's only one of each one. So that's all I can do. That's all I can do. It's, you know. This also, 1951. This is Okamoto Jinja. This is the shrine, the paper maker's shrine. Or it's the, we can't see the shrine here itself. We can see the entrance gate. It's the entrance gate to the paper maker's shrine in the village of Otaki in Fukui Prefecture. Iwano-san's paper is made there. This is where all of the Hosho paper that these prints are made on comes from. And I've gone through here lots of times. It's a road. The road now, when you drive up, the road goes through this gate. And then off to the right is the paper maker's village, and straight ahead is the shrine. And this is 1951. The original one's 1951. This particular copy is made much, much later than that. Another one, 1951. Did they give it to us by year? I don't know. Someone's got it. Otaki. Oh, it's Otaki Jinja or Okamoto Jinja. There's 2 shrines up there. Have we got the right one? This is Numabe-san. This is Shinkichi Numabe, the current printer. Did I say Otaki? Oh, it's Otaki Village. The village is called Otaki. That's the name of the village. Did I get my expression wrong in my mouth? I'm sorry, whatever. It's Fukui-ken Otaki Machi. These are carved, I believe. The one I showed you at first was a metal block. This one, I'm not 100% sure. This could be either metal or key. It's hard to tell just looking at the finished print sometimes. I don't know which one this is. With the Yoshida prints, we never know. All the colors are wooden blocks. Many of the key blocks are metal, right back from Hiroshi's day. I've never seen the blocks for this print, so I don't know. The colors, of course, are all wood in the normal way. We think of them as woodblock prints. So I've been assigned mounting duty today here. Sorry. Does this count as a Japanese? Oh, look at it, I've done it again. That's what you get when you try and do two things at the same time. Backing paper first. Yeah, now you tell me. The backing paper too is, of course, supposedly, it comes to us as archival paper. But all this talk about archival paper, you know, it's a paradox for our work. There isn't any modern product. The plastic seals, the wrapping, the backboards, the archival paper. There is no modern product that is anywhere near as archival as the prints themselves. So it's a huge paradox of our business. We can't pack the prints. The prints shouldn't be packed. The best packing for these woodblock prints is no packing. The best packaging is no packaging. We can't do that. Yeah, the color blocks. When I was at the Yoshida place, the carver was Hamano-san. He was carving the color blocks. Over the years earlier than that, I really don't know. They have used just generic carvers all the time, because any of their key blocks with detail are done by metal blocks. They don't need top-level carvers. They just need any generic carver who can carve color blocks. These days, it's all Tsukasa-san working by himself. What is it about a paper that makes it so resilient? As far as I understand, I mean, I'm not a chemist, but it's just the lack of, is it lack of cellulose or lack of lignin? I'm sorry. It's not made from wood pulp. It's made from the inner bark of the mulberry tree, and there's nothing left. I think it's pounded and boiled in alkali, and that removes all the compounds and things that seem to be the ones that do the oxidizing. So bare raw mulberry fiber doesn't seem to oxidize. Again, I'm sorry, I'm not the chemist to be able to explain this to you at that level. It's the lignin, I think, that has been removed by that alkali boiling process. But there must be people on this stream here who know better than I. Someone says we could do this by auction. I don't know. I have a real dislike of that. Auction says the guy with the most money is going to get these. And I really don't want to go that way. We want to make products and put out products that are worth what they are, and we want to sell them at the price that we think is a reasonable price. And by forcing everything to go through an auction, it's just simply the guy with the most money is going to end up with the goods. And I guess that's the way the world works, but that's my last resort, absolute last resort. This one is a bit different. This is not 1951. This is 1970. And this is Tsukasa-san. This is not Toshi Yoshida. This is his son, Tsukasa. Again, this is a stamped. No, is it stamped or signed? Well, it's a real pencil, but he's living. He's my age. I think he's 1 year older than me, I think, Tsukasa-san. He's my generation. I think he's 1 year older. And very much his father's influence, absolutely. He was still very young. In 1970, he would have been 19 or 20 or 21. And this is made completely and totally under his father's influence, or his mother's influence too, actually. Are we having to sell these prints to try and make the budget balance for the building? No, this is a normal part of our work. This is not prints from our collection. We are a print dealer. We publish prints ourselves, and we also deal in prints. 20th century prints from other publishers, and we deal in antique prints. This is nothing special, isn't it? There's no bargain, blah, blah, blah going on here. This is a normal part of our business. Paper, I did it. The Yoshida people, why don't they let us print these? The Yoshida situation is extremely complicated. It's a very large family. They had lots of kids at every level of this. It's a very large family, and the way inheritance procedures work in Japan, everybody in the family has a finger in this. The Hiroshi Yoshida prints, there are no reprints of those, and there won't be, because the heirs, he didn't designate a single person as his heir. It went to the family, X%, X%, X%. And over the years, they have never been able to come to an agreement on, one, whether or not to print Hiroshi Yoshida's work, and two, how do you distribute the money and how it goes. And I don't know who it is, but somebody in the family has said no reprints of Hiroshi Yoshida prints. And that's it. And without the permission of all the family members, it can't happen. That's Hiroshi Yoshida. The next level down, Toshi, the ones we just looked at, that's clearer because his son Tsukasa has the say-so. And Tsukasa-san has been reprinting them. And I believe it's that his mother was still alive when this started. So it's Toshi Yoshida's wife gave the go-ahead for that. And Tsukasa-san has continued. But for Hiroshi Yoshida, there are no reprints, period. The copyright has expired on Hiroshi's prints. The blocks are there, copyrights we ourselves, I've made a reproduction of one of them. Anybody in the world now can use the Hiroshi Yoshida designs. The woodblock print shop that used to be down the street, Sakai Kokoro, they sold color copies. Japanese woodblock print designs, Hiroshi Yoshida prints in color copies. They're public domain. Anybody, you can sell them. That's Hiroshi. Toshi's prints won't be in the public domain until long after I'm dead. He died in 1990 something, I don't know, 1995 or 1996, I don't know. And Japan, the copyright law is death plus 70. So the Toshi Yoshida prints we just saw, they won't be available for a long time. Basically never, from my point of view. This is different. This is not Yoshida. This is Kawase Hasui. And we got released this week 4 more copies. 2 of these and 2 of these. This one I think is perhaps starting to show signs of coming to the end of its life. This is not Yoshida print I mentioned. This is Kawase Hasui, and it's published by the Shobisha, Nakajima-san's company. And the blocks have been well used. Nubabe-san has been doing a very good job printing it. But there are signs here and there that the blocks are starting to now get past their sell-by date. We're still okay with this. I'll sell these. They're still okay, but there are little bits of signs here and there. Can we see maybe? If I zoom in here, just a second, let me try and find this place. I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty tiny. There's bits and bits. The green there doesn't quite register with the wood, with the fence. It does. It's okay. This is no problem. We'll sell it. But it's starting now to show that some of the blocks are stretching and shrinking a bit too much. Umabe-san, and I talked to Umabe-san about this. He has been fighting these blocks. What he does is the blocks shrink and swell at different levels. So when he's printing it, he's got the key block first, then he moves on to a color. If it's too narrow, he's got to throw it in a bucket of water. And he's got a big, big tub of water right beside his printing bench. And he puts the block inside the bucket of water with a cloth and a weight on top. And he starts counting. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Is that enough? He takes the block out, wipes it off, tries to print. Nope, we got to do a bit more. Back in the water it goes. He's back and forth and back and forth. And then the problem is, of course, once you get it just right, the wood now is still expanding a little bit because it's still drinking that water. So he can maybe do 5 or 10 prints, and he's got to let it dry a bit and shrink back down. The blocks are living. It's chaos, absolute chaos. This also is Hasui. These have come out nice this time too as well. These are very nice. Shobisha is really maintaining a high quality, you know. There's no question about it. Compared to Watanabe, the Watanabe Hasui reprints, I don't even want to talk about them, especially on the stream. But the Shobisha Hasui reprints are still beautifully done. They are really taking care. Nakajima-san, he's got some pride. He wants to put up prints that are beautiful. So this is a brand new printing. Like, this is not even a couple of weeks old. A brand new printing of the Hasui print, and yet it's beautifully, beautifully, elegantly done. The stuff from Watanabe, I'm just whatever. Ashamed to be involved in this business, but whatever. There are still people here doing it properly and doing it with pride and trying to keep his standards high. There are still people like that, you know. You hear me complain too much about the lack of standards, but there are people here doing it. The outside audio, is it okay? Outside audio too loud, too soft? I don't know. Oh, I have more prints and I don't have enough backboards. 1 sec, I need more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gotta go get more supplies. Hang on a sec. She didn't give me enough mounting boards, or I spoiled too many. 1 sec. Back in a minute. Yoisho. Remind me about it, that just a second. Okay, a couple of things. Think about that. We got this first copy. I don't know, did I talk to you about this? We talked about this a while ago. So, the magazine, it's a magazine called Tokyo Jin, about people in Tokyo. Tokyo Jin, hito, people in Tokyo. And this is next month's issue. This is the March issue. And they have the special issue about Shin Hanga prints. Shin Hanga prints related to Tokyo. Shin Hanga to Tokyo. This is the March issue of Tokyo Jin magazine. And they came here for an interview. The whole magazine is not about us, of course. Let's flip through here bit by bit by bit. It's great. It's a story about, I mean, Shin Hanga was basically created here in Tokyo. Watanabe-san and some other people had a hand in it, of course. Let's flip through. And mostly the focus is on Hasui. Kawase Hasui. Then Yoshida Hiroshi gets a bunch of pages. Yoshida Hiroshi prints. Kasamatsu, what's his name? Shiro. Kasamatsu Shiro gets in. The main Shin Hanga designers of the day. Lots of sketches and talk about Watanabe-san, the publisher. Ito Shinsui. And Noet, Noel Noet. And Koitsu, Tsuchiya Koitsu. So the main, I forget his name. Kobayakawa Kiyoshi. Kobayakawa Hiroshi. Then they went to the Watanabe shop in the Ginza, and this is the grandson of Shojiro-san, who runs the business still. And the original Watanabe-san, he's such, oh my God, I would have loved to have met him. So it's a good overview of the whole Shin Hanga thing. Contemporary people doing it, nice color breakdown. Steve Jobs was a fan of Shin Hanga. He went to this gallery in the Ginza. He bought a whole bunch of stuff from them. Paul Jacquelet is not Shin Hanga. No connection. And then moving along, down. He's got a list of all the prints that Steve Jobs bought from that guy. This is Steve Jobs' Hanga collection. Talk about detail. Do we need to know this? Whatever. And then, of course, you can see where this is going. The Myakodori people with their new laser prints. This is Kashiwagi-san. And this is Tsuchimochi-san, the guys who started the Myakodori thing to do their laser cut Shin Hanga. And then moving down towards the back of the bus. At the very back of the bus, we get, this is interesting, this is Hasui and Ono Gintaro-san showing a test printing. Where are we going to get to the part here? Let's go. Nanda. Shida again. And bingo. Finally, at the back of the bus, we get a visit to Mokuhankan. And I thought we were going to be in the black and white pages, but they put some more color pages in the back. We got in there. And it's me, of course. This is Mr. K, our printer Kawai-san, who's done the printing. And this is Kashiwagi-san and Tsuchimochi-san back for a second time. And they visited Mokuhankan. We've got it. We're in here carving, printing. They talked about my old second issue prints. Nothing to do with Shin Hanga. Don't know why they bothered with that. And here's our printer Kawai-san at work. And this is the print that's being featured because Kawai-san printed this one. And then, of course, at the very end, the last page, to talk about Shin Hanga and Tokyo, we've published images of Tokyo based on a Shin Hanga kind of ethic and concept. And they tossed in the Ukiyo heroes. So very, very, very nice. And in the article, there's lots and lots of discussion with me and what I'm thinking about and points of view. And they even highlighted in English. Here we are. The motto that is on our wall. So very happy. That's one for the file. Mom, do you want a copy? I'll send one over. Okay, back to work. This is teenage Toshi Yoshida, making prints under his dad's eye and his dad's control. And they're still publishing this. This, of course, it's a stamped signature. This isn't made by Numabe-san. But the design is a teenage Toshi Yoshida. I gotta get through these things. I don't know if that magazine has online, online stuff. That's a good question. I don't know. Will this be online? Can people see it? I kind of doubt it. Here's the ISBN number, just to put this up. If you're trying to search for this somewhere, that's the ISBN number of the magazine itself. And these Toshi prints, what can I say? These are actually not to my taste, but there are lots of people who like these. After Toshi's father died, after Hiroshi died, Toshi went into a real abstract phase. Obviously, he had been under the complete control of his father while his father was living. And Toshi Yoshida-san's prints, while his father was alive, all looked like his father's work, of course. Well, once his father passed away and was out of the scene, Toshi Yoshida went through a bunch of different phases. He went through a heavy abstract phase. Then he pulled back and had a mix of abstractness and realism. But all the way along, his most popular prints have been the ones that look real. The African series, the landscapes. I don't know if he felt frustrated by that. I never had that kind of conversation with him. He and I never talked about stuff like that. There's the Oshibori man. How's our time? We've got to get going. We've got a whole another batch here to do beside me here. No, it's not an ISBN. I'm sorry. It's a JAN code, J-A-N code, or if you look up EAN code. It's not an ISBN. I'm sorry. It's a product number rather than a publication number. I'm sorry. If you look up EAN code, you'll find it there. I said ISBN. That was incorrect. I'm sorry. These the garden prints, the famous garden series here, they're done on extremely, and I mean extremely heavy, thick paper. I don't even know how to describe this. This paper is so thick and so heavy. It's like cardboard. I can't imagine trying to print on this. I would dread printing on this. It comes out fairly heavily embossed because of that. Shirokabe, white wall. As I said, not to my taste, but lots of people do like these, so whatever. And there's no metal key blocks involved in prints like this at all, of course. No, 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 nothing like the old Taisho paper. This is modern, thick, heavy paper. It's like a kind of watercolor paper. It doesn't even look like printmaking paper. It's like some thick kind of cotton rag paper, really, really thick. It's not really even a Japanese beautiful washi at all. It's full of bark, it's full of mottled stuff. It's a modern style stuff. It's not in any way a traditional Japanese printmaking paper. Why the heavy paper? You ask Toshi-san. I don't know. He wanted a more modern ethic and feel. I know you can see it's very blotchy. It's full of. It's not cleanly carved. It's a more modern, rough style. The drawing is rough. The printing is rough. The paper is rough. It's not ukiyo-e printing at all. The modern guys do what they want, you know. Someone's got a link to the magazine. Thank you. Thank you. If I were trying to print this, one thing, the paper would have to be extremely softened, and probably I would use a metal baron, a metal ball-bearing baron. And almost certainly that's what they did to print this. This is now back to normal stuff. This is a normal print on normal paper. This will be Numabe-san, kana? Yes, Numabe Shinkichi. Like I said, a modern one. No, this is on a. The image is much more old-fashioned, of course, and more traditional style. Okay, the folders Watanabe-san left me for part 1 of this are now empty, and we move on to part 2. Part 2 is different. Part 2, she has them already packaged. And she wants me to put the labels on. She gave me a bunch of labels, a bunch of blank labels. We don't need. Cool product, very, very cool product. Okay, part 2. Yoisho. She's already got them packed. And my job is to put the labels on. And Nanda. Oh wait, they're not. Are they packed? Wait a minute, what's going on here? What have they done? Oh, this is just a, what's this? Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Step 1. Okay, I think I see what she wants. Step 1. How are we going to do this so you can see the pictures as well? Just a minute. It's no fun if you look at labels, but you could look at prints. Let's see how this is going to work. Just a sec. If I do my label work down here, yeah, okay, we can do this. And these prints now, these are going to be part of, as we mentioned, these are going to be part of the upcoming February, the February email, the February announcement email. this. So it gets folded here. Okay. How are these Yoshitoshis priced? They're going to be different depending on the condition of each one. Some of them are glued down, some of them are not glued down. That's your price in yen. The dollar price will be in dollars. But some of them are not in perfect condition. This first one, for example, it's been trimmed and the margin has been repaired. So they're all going to be case by case by case. This one, what you see is the right-hand margin here is actually a glued-on margin. Somebody originally must have trimmed the print right to the line, and a dealer or somebody experienced later on actually repaired it by gluing on a piece on the edge. So when you look at the price of these, please remember that some of these, the condition is not absolutely perfect condition. So. This one's better. If you want to hear about these, make sure you're on our mailing list. That's all. Send a request to one of our contact forms. There's contact forms all over the website. Send a request to one of the contact forms. No. There's no specific newsletter. Just send a request to a contact form saying you'd like to hear about upcoming products and stuff. And about 5 times a year, that's all. We don't spam anybody. About 5 or 6 times a year, we send out an email announcing the next subscription series or when we have stuff going online or something like this. We have an update thing. I wouldn't call it a newsletter. These are originals. None of this next group here, these are all original Meiji era prints. These are original Yoshitoshis. These are not reproductions or photocopies. These are originals. And some of them, this one's in nice condition. The previous one had been completely trimmed. This is Meiji 26. We're sort of overlapping with show and tell, aren't we? Sorry about this, but whatever. It's got to get done. It's got to get done. This one is strange. I can never figure this one out. This is one of the most bizarre Yoshitoshi prints. What's the deal? It's you know, the Chinese, one of the Chinese emperor's ladies, I guess. I don't know. But the neck, like, I've never been able to understand this one. This is a beautiful, fine copy. Full margins and rich, deep color. This is a prime copy of an image that I don't really feel much for. But it is what it is. Another one, very nice condition, very nice. Yes, this is indeed a biwa, I believe. Of course, it's a biwa. Oh, someone's saying it's been like a show and tell, whatever. So, but we're kind of breaking our rule, you know. In show and tell, we don't show stuff that we're going to be selling because I don't want it to be a promotional stream. But in this one, these are things that are actually going to be on sale. So I'm kind of breaking our little rule here. Sorry. Just it's work that just has to get done. The construction noise outside, it's deconstruction. They're taking down the building behind us, 2 buildings down. They're almost done now. This is the one that we were fairly concerned about asbestos before we were assured by the city authorities that no, it wasn't, but whatever. We didn't know who to believe, but it seems pretty clear. When I inspected this, when I went out there last week to look around, you could see through the entrance gate there, and the building itself is just breeze blocks. It's a 3-story building built with breeze blocks with a little sort of steel framework inside to help hold it up. My God, it would have come down at any slight earthquake, it seems. So there's nothing in there that seems that it would be related to asbestos use. So it's about a lady. There's a lady here. I don't know the story. There's a koto player. You can see. There's a lady here. She's got sort of a nun's headdress, and she's playing koto. And I guess these 2 gentlemen are heavily affected by this. I don't know the backstory. I don't know it. It's the Lady Gosechi. And I'm sorry, I'm not at all up on the backstory. There's just too much for me to try and keep track of here. And it's the Yoshitoshi, the famous Yoshitoshi Linework. And is this for illumination? An oil, is it an oil light, an oil lamp? This is all happening at night under the moon. I don't know the backstory. There must be some, can somebody, she must be Wikipedia. Lady Gosechi. But the production quality, my God, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The carving, we talk about that Yoshitoshi Linework, but just any random group of lines on the print, show. They're just drawn. Every one has taste, and it's got an end, and you can see where the brush hit and the brush came out. There's gradations down these poles to give the light. The moonlight is shining on the poles. The hair carving. They're technically masterpieces, absolutely masterpieces. The image, you like it or you don't, but. And we've got the carver's name actually on lots of these Yoshitoshi prints. I don't know what this is referring to, but we have, there's an element of pride involved here, you know. We have the carver. And it says Yamamoto To. To is the chokoku to, the carving knife. And Yamamoto stuck his name in there. Either he did it by himself or it was part of the hunch to the drawing, I don't know. But we've got the carver's name on here, quietly in one corner. There's never any printers' names because they went out to gangs of printers, but the carver got his name on this one. I have no idea. I like to think of the idea of the carver doing it himself. It wasn't on the tracing, but just down in one corner of the block, the guy says, you know what, I'm going to put my name on this thing. I don't know. You know, I can see me doing that, you know. It must have been part of the original tracing. Now, this is an era still when there's sensors are operating. And anything you wanted to publish as a woodblock print had to go through to the censors. Well, maybe by this era that's over. Actually, I don't see a censor's seal on these. So maybe actually by the time these are being published now, that's over. But in the late Tokugawa era, everything had to go to the censor's office first. They stamped it with a seal, and that stamp had to be carved into the image. I don't see that here, so I guess it's gone by then. How's our time? 9:02. Show and tell today. We have for show and tell today. It's not a socks day today. We're not going to blow anybody's socks off today at all. We have a very quiet, simple, very small item for show and tell that's not going to take more than a couple of minutes. And then I want to go back again to that magazine that we received the other day, or that stack of magazines the other day. And I want to flip through a bit more because I found a few things that are interesting in there. So today we'll have a small, simple show and tell for a new item, and then we are going to look back into those magazines. We could probably do that every day for a year and not repeat ourselves, but whatever. Oh, yes, that reminds me. I have a request. I have a request from some academic type person on this stream. Before I forget, the magazines we're going to look at, the guy who edited them was apparently quite famous in his day for being a real anti-establishment figure. I'm learning more about him after getting these magazines and looking into it. But there is a really interesting article about him and his era published in the Monumenta Nipponica back in 1945. And it's online, but it's behind a wall. It's not a paywall, it's an academic wall. You have to be an academic blah blah with letters after your name and an institutional blah 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 blah, and I can't get in. So if somebody, where's the link here? 1 second, let me find the link. If somebody out here is a part of a research, or you have a university affiliation or something like this, where did I put it? Hang on 1 sec. I should have had it ready for copy and paste. I'm sorry, I didn't have it ready. 1 second, please. Let me send you the link, and if somebody has access to this database that doesn't cost money or something, I would really, really, really hope that we can get, here we are. Here's the link. Why would somebody put up academic papers that are 70 years old and then not allow people to look at them? What's the thinking there? I don't get it. Anyway, there's the link. It's a link to an academic article that was published about the man who made these magazines. And I think it's not money paywall, it's just information paywall. Yeah, this is JSTOR. I don't think this is money. I don't think. It says the articles are available to independent researchers. It says so, but you can only log in if you have an affiliation with a university. Yeah, John, I know it says free. Try and get in there. I couldn't get in there. You just need a library card. Yeah, like I have a library card. Anyway, if somebody else has access to it that doesn't cost anything, please. Sorry, no, enough complaining, enough complaining. How should I send it? Someone's already got it. Bingo. Any of our emails, my email, it's davebull, D-A-V-E-B-U-L-L, blah, 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 8 letters, D-A-V-E-B-U-L-L, at mokuhankan.com. That would get to me. So type in Mokuhankan University, yeah, right. this is another good one. These, oh, it's trimmed. No. It's trimmed. So this one's heavily trimmed. A beautiful image, nicely printed, but some previous owner has cut it off along the dates. And we have another carver. Who have we got here? I cannot read this one. Sorry, I can't read this one. No idea. A carver of the era. Something Hisato. I can't read the first character. Getting 600 emails, whatever. Almost finished. 2 left, 3 left. We're going to be just about time. She gave me just enough work to finish this morning. Nani-nani-sa. Yeah, right, thanks. I really don't know. It's just a carver's name from long ago. I wouldn't know how to read it. Washabinsky. Thank you. You've been helping with the kanji the other day, the show. Thank you very much. You're clearly way ahead of me in your kanji reading. Thank you very much, sir. I don't know. This is the Washa, am I getting it right? Washabinsky person. He must have been so frustrated the other day. He typed in early in the stream that it was Surugadako, and I didn't see it. So I'm blabbing. What are these pictures? And he's already told us what they were. So. If there's links going by, I'll catch them later. I get a printout of this chat later on. So if there's something in the chat, I will see it later. Yes, thank you. I see the chat later in the day. Thank you very much. I give out chocolate eggs all by myself. She's going to be happy. She's going to come in at 9:30 and see all this work done. This one's another funny one. This one is a strange design. We talked before the other day, you know, about people like Yoshitoshi and all the designers. Kajita Hanko, we saw the photograph, his workshop with dozens and dozens of apprentices. And all of these guys, Yoshitoshi too, he had a workshop and studio with literally dozens of people around there drawing. Look at the drawing on the face of this one. And who do you think maybe drew this? Of course, I know nothing about this, but do you really think this is the hand of the master himself? I don't know. I would not bet on this anywhere. The body is static. There's no beautiful flowing lines. The face is strange. Now maybe that's fine. Maybe that's just a correct depiction of the character. Maybe this is all perfect, and this is done in that way to properly depict the character. Or maybe not. You've got a series of 100 prints. You've got to get it all designed and out within a few months, or whatever the time frame was on this, and you share it with your apprentices. So I don't know, just the idea is there on the table. Of course, nobody knows what happened, but some of these are clearly less interesting than others. Now nobody, even the top genius in the world, doesn't bat 1,000, you know, even the best. So maybe that's okay. Maybe it is Yoshitoshi, but he just didn't pull it off. I don't know. Or as I said, maybe it's genius work and it properly depicts who this person is. I really don't know. But I myself would not be adding such a print to my collection. But there are people who will like it. Oh, this is not supposed to be in here. What's this? Oh, okay, this is not supposed to be in here, but this is a great, great example to show you what's going on. I told you a while ago about this. We contacted the Doi Hanga company, or no, they contacted us actually. They said, we got a whole bunch of stuff in our drawers here. We found some old wonderful prints. Let's have this. John Becker is saying, that's mine. No, it's not. This is going back to Doi. It's NG. They found a bunch of stuff in a drawer. And for her, she thought, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And indeed, some of the things in that drawer were wonderful, wonderful prints. But what also was in that drawer was clearly a bunch of prints that had been rejected by her grandfather years ago. And they were just thrown in a drawer somewhere. And there's no way, if we zoom in here and look at this, let me find the place, hang on. Just to start right up at the top. Maybe somebody wants this, not me. Just a sec. Let me get this. Yo-sho. Okay, first off, the sky has been printed twice and the registration hasn't matched up. The second time doesn't match the first time. All the lines here at the top, look, the color for the wisteria isn't even close to the line. It's misregistered everywhere you look. All the way up on top, all the way down the bottom. It's just misregistered. You can see it, look. See how the brown pops out of the side. The brown has been shifted to the left. A mess over on the right-hand side. This is carver Ito-san. Oh, I see. John is in the Kamedo Shrine, not because it was an old print. Yeah. Whatever, we went through the box. We went through the prints that she brought to us. This one is not actually all that bad. So maybe you're looking and saying, Dave's rejecting this. This actually isn't really super awful. But there were some that were absolutely, really, the color didn't even match. Like there would be a tree, and the color for the tree was a shadow of the tree. There were some that didn't even match. And the print itself, and when she brought it to us, it has an X on the corner. It's not a cut corner. Somebody back then has even scribbled an X on it. And she brings it out and gives it to us. So not all the prints she brought to us have been, are going to make it through. So this one's going back to her. Yeah, that one actually doesn't seem too bad. We could have sent that through and probably nobody would notice, but whatever. Okay. Okay, what time is it? It's 9:15. My desk is clear. The work she gave me to do is finished. So today's show and tell, as we said, we are going to look back into some of those magazines, but before that, we have something new. As I said, this is not sock-blowing material. This is not, oh my God, look at this wonderful thing David got. It's actually quite a junky woodbuck print. But I bought it the other day on auction because I realized it shows an example of a genre that I don't have in our collection yet. And it's a genre that is heavily, heavily, heavily collected in Japan. When these come up, they get snatched up right away because there are many collectors of Japanese maps. So I don't have any in my collection. And we're going to see this morning a sample of an old map made by woodbuck printmaking. And as I said, I would like to have a beautiful, beautiful example for you. This one's a bit junky. And one reason I would like to get some more of them is because we are told by research people and stuff that the printing of maps was one of the ways that woodbuck printmaking first developed into color printing. And people were trying to do maps of Tokyo with the Kanda River, and they put it, they put the blue color on with woodbuck prints. And here is what we have. It's a map of Japan, and our friend who is reading the kanji better than me, I hope you're here because I cannot understand the details of what's going on here. It is, I believe, showing the distribution of temples of a certain kind of sect across Japan in a certain era. I'm really not sure about this. The guy who sold it didn't really know what it was either. We have in, which is a temple designation, and we have a date, and I don't know that this is one of the old dates in the A something Juichinen. It's one of the dates. Someone's got it. Washabinsky's got it. Thank you, sir, very much. 1569. Now, right up. The map is, this is not a woodblock print from 1569. It's a map showing a historical thing. It's like us these days. We print a book showing Edo era map or whatever. So this print is not from that date, but it's showing data from that date. And I believe it is something to do with temple distributions or Buddhist sect distributions. I really don't know, I'm sorry. Eidoku, is that the era? Eidoku 11. Sorry. So thank you for that part of it. So someone's got a distributions of 7-Eleven across Japan. Whatever, I don't know. Exactly. There is some misregistration. I mean, this is not a glorious ukiyo woodblock print. There's a bit of misregistration along the end here for a map. I'm not quite sure what this is supposed to be. Why is this yellow color here? Is that supposed to be printed somewhere else? Is that misregistered, or is that a blotch? Oh, I know what they've done. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Someone's printed it upside down. This is glorious. This is glorious. Okay. Get your shape memory. You know, when you go for an IQ test, they show you these different shapes, and you've got to be able to patch them together, like doing a jigsaw puzzle. No, look at this, look at this, look at this. Okay, class. See this yellow shape? It's got this sort of little hook that hangs down to the right. Got that? Put that shape in your memory. There's a blobby thing with a hook that hangs down to the right. I'm now going to put the map upside down. And we have a yellow blobby shape with a hook down to the right. This isn't folded and transferred, because that's the other way around. This is the guy who was printing the map. He put it into the registration marks upside down for the yellow sheet. What a great find. So much more interesting for me. Got it, right? You see what I'm talking about? If I put my finger there, there's the hook. I'm just going to rotate the map. Let's get it where you can see it. There's the hook. I'll just rotate the map under my finger. There we are. Show. So there's the yellow blobby shape. Someone's got it. He had one job. He had one job, but he had 10,000 sheets to do each day. I mean, this work was fast work. What a treasure. What an absolute treasure. When was this made? I don't have the slightest idea. I don't have a clue when this was made. Well, let me, okay, I said I don't have a clue. Give me a 20-year margin. I'll say 1860. And it could be up to 20 years before that or 20 years after that. That's my blindfolded, stick the dart in the table guess. 1860. Willing to be proven wrong, but going by the paper and the general appearance of the thing. And what it is, I don't know. Again, has somebody, I've been having to watch in the chat. And I have written to the guy who sold this, because I think he has some more. And what I suspect he might have, he's got a bunch of these. And rather than put them up on Yahoo Auction all in a bunch, where nobody can afford to buy a whole bunch, I think he's leaking them onto auctions one at a time, one at a time. So I think what he's got is he's got some more, and we'll see basically the same map with a different year up here and a different distribution. So stand by for further updates. This is Japan, you know, this is Japan. There was nothing, there was no Hokkaido. I mean, Hokkaido existed as a land, but it was not anything explored. There were parts of it here. We can see Akita. There were people living clear up in the north here, but it wasn't civilized enough for these people. And moving along down, we see the main islands, Honshu, Kyushu, Sado Island. And I'm not quite sure what this would be up here. This would be the islands in between Japan and Korea. That looks awfully big. Is that Tsukijima? Yeah, maybe this is Tsukijima. And of course, the Ryukyus and Okinawan stuff are a completely different country. Tsushima, yeah, okay, fair enough. Tsushima. I didn't think it was that big, but then maybe the map is a bit. And then this must, of course, be the edge of Korea off in the distance. Washabinsky has the answer. It sounds like Washabinsky needs a permanent link to a power map, name of each domain and feudal lords. Okay, so it's not Buddhist sects then, it's the actual domains. We do have the domain names because some of them we can read. For example, some of them we still use these names nowadays. We have Tosa, I'm going to see if I get some more. This is interesting. I will absolutely see if I can get some more. Fiefdoms. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, eggs, please. I've got a basket of eggs. Take eggs as you need for the people that have put in information here. Thank you. And what I don't know is when this was made, when this was published. Yeah, we do have more. We have Ueno, we have Musashi, we have Koshu. Yeah, I get it. We have Suruga. This is the kanji we saw the other day to show. We have Issei. Hi, okay. Very much. Thank you. We will look into this and try and find some more. This is fun. This is fun. This is fun. Even, you know, knowing more about these things, it makes it much more like useful and interesting to study this, you know. Okay, thank you for the information, everybody. Thank you for helping with this. Someone's asking, what is it with the dark spots? Some of these colors here, this is oxidized pigment. They used a vermilion pigment, a reddish mercury type pigment for this particular area, and this has heavily oxidized, reacted with oxygen in the air. And the dark stain you see here is oxidized vermilion. Oxidized mercury, I guess, inside the vermilion, and that comes in this area. Anywhere they would have printed with the vermilion pigment. The yellow, surprisingly, is beautifully clear and bright. This is wonderful. It looks like their typical sulfur pigment of the day. And someone's asking, why no colors up here? I guess this is still the Wild West. I don't know. You tell me. We can see maps of America that have the colonies clustered along the right-hand side, and then the Wild West is just sort of sketched in. And I think it's that kind of a thing. The Wild East. So. I'm going to try and get some more of these. I will try and get some more. This wasn't expensive. I think it cost me 1,000 yen. Like I said, real maps. Map collecting is a real thing in Japan. It's a big, 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 big deal. But this is, I guess, kind of a junky example. Okay, thanks for the assistance with this. Okay, there's not a lot of time to dig into these magazines, so let me make this a one point. There's just one specific thing then about these magazines again. Let me try and show you, just to fill off today with one interesting point. We saw the magazines here. They were published month by month by month over a period of a few years in the late Meiji and early Taisho periods. And it seems clear that as part of the magazine construction, they had regular corners. Here in this, we have a show and tell. It comes in the last 15 minutes. In these magazines, we see cases of repeated stories. And in fact, this one today, on page 5, or page 3, it's numbered page 3, page 1, 2, 3. On page 3 here, we have what they've done is they've taken 3 famous ukiyo-e designers from the past. Okay, so be it. Let's just hold that there for a minute while I look into another issue. And we look and see on page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes, we see the same kind of a story. It's 3 different designers, but they followed the same format. This is fine. It's a good idea. It makes a lot of sense. I looked at one of these and I thought, I wonder, have they carved that whole thing each time? And here we are. This is the first of the 2 issues that I've got here on my desk. Now the picture, the ladies and the prints that are being depicted are clearly different. But I looked at the frame and I thought, did they really carve that frame again every single month? If I was going to publish this, what I would do is I would carve a blank frame thing and I would carve smaller images that would fit inside it. So I was curious, did they reuse the frames? I looked and rather than me tell you, let me just show you them. Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at the right-hand frame area up top here. Let me slide in the other one. It looks quite different. There's a big chunk taken out of it here. The bottom right-hand corner is a little bit rounded off. We go back to the first one. There's no chunk missing. The bottom corner is not rounded off. On first thought, it seems they didn't reuse them. They recarved the whole thing. And I thought, no way, no way, no way. Until we get to this. Next month's issue. Sorry about the chaos here of the streams. Next month's issue, let's go back. We had a white chunk taken out of it and a round corner. Next month's issue, nope, no white chunk, no round corner. But when we slide it across, look, 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 look. Over on the left-hand side, there's a chunk taken out and a rounded corner. And they have reused them. It's not one block with 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 2, 3, and they've mixed them up. They've mixed them up. So this is ABC, this is CBA. And I've gone through the stack here comparing and looking, and they have. They match with all the little broken parts. They match exactly. So they have used a little block that slides in, and they must have carved just the little inside part, and you can see they don't line up. The inside part doesn't meet the frame. None of the lines match the frame size. Okay. Trivia, trivia, trivia. No big deal, but just for fun. There's other things that are too. In the back, there's a section in every issue where they have pasted in a print. And some of these are really, really interesting. Look at this one. They've pasted in a print, a long, tall, thin print. Okay, as I said, I'm digging into this thing bit by bit by bit by bit. And as we learn more about these, we'll be showing more about these things at all. Okay, I think that's enough for now. This is Monday. I still have a ton of work. I've got to be trimming now. They're here. I finished the first month's print, and my job now, I have to get the second month's print out of here. There are people waiting for these, so that has to be my job for the next couple of days. Okay, thank you everybody. I will enjoy reading the chat at lunchtime. I'll be back here in 3 more days. No, let's save it. Save it for next time. Save it for next time. That's enough for today. Let's pop up. Let's pop up the outside. There's too much to talk about. Look at this, a beautiful, 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 beautiful day. What another beautiful day. It's cold, but it's beautiful. Okay, there we go. Nobody else special coming by. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you again in a few more days. Bye for now.